Three, two, one. Hey everybody, Chris Drouin, Sandler Training in the EM Consulting Group. I want to take a second to talk to you guys about networking. One thing that we really encourage our members of PCN groups, of brag groups, LBN groups, anyone where you have a specific networking group that meets on a regular basis, we encourage you to do something called a one-on-one meeting. Basically what a one-on-one is, it's an hour for you to sit down with somebody in your networking group, somebody in your sphere of influence, and really take time to get to know them before you really dive deep into networking and referring. So there's a couple strategies that I use for every one-on-one that I really want to push for everybody. One thing is I have an ideal client profile sheet that I share with everybody. This ideal client profile has a brief 30-second commercial that I do, tells you about who we are, what we offer, talks about the ideal prospect I'm looking for. It can be who they are, how I would describe them as a personality, a description of their business categories they're in, and industry examples. So, for example, mine is the owner, the CEO, or the president. It could be the chief learning officer, could be the VP of business development, VP of sales, director of HR, sales manager, anyone in that real, who they are. And then I would describe the people that I normally work with as strong, open-minded, growth-oriented, and then they're decisive, they're winners, they're committed. They're not running a struggling organization, they're running a great organization that wants to get better. As I go through description, I talk about privately owned, successful, local, talk about their sales could be $1 million up to $500 million, and then their sales team would have either 100 to 300 people involved in sales or business development. And then my categories that I normally break down are manufacturers, service providers, financial service providers, consultants, distributors, and then industries could be marketing, commercial real estate, commercial banking, manufacturing, and I really break it down to credit unions, computer, tech, IT. Everything in this client profile is something that I give to that person in the one-on-one that says, take this with you. These are the ideal people that I meet with. And if you don't know these people today, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to have a chance to open a door for me down the road. By giving them a takeaway, it really helps provide them with a small snapshot of what I'm looking for in my networking. The second thing that I do is I really want to make sure that if I'm leveraging this conversation face to face, that it's actual prospecting for me. It's not just getting to know them better, letting them get to know me better. It's really about scheduling some time to get into their network. And I do this through LinkedIn. So specifically what I do before I go into one of these one-on-ones for networking, for prospecting, for any purpose, is when I'm setting up that meeting, whether it's your phone call or email, I say something like this. I say, look, Eric, I'd like to bring along a list of 10 to 12 people, my first level LinkedIn contacts that I think you might be interested in connecting with. I'm going to go based on what I think and know about what you do. And if that list looks okay to you when we meet, I can send you a quick email copying them to make a quick online introduction. Would that be all right with you? And 100% of the time, 10 of the 10 times, the person says, yeah, Chris, absolutely. I would love 12 first-degree introductions from you. That would be great. So here's what I do, is I follow that up with a very simple and common courtesy that I'd like them to reciprocate what I've offered to do for them. So normally, before I hang up, I'll say something that says, hey, do you mind doing me a favor as well? Do you mind going through your LinkedIn? Find 10 to 12 people, 10 to 12 first-degree connections that may be in line with what you know about who I am and what I do. And when I ask them to do that and say that's kind of your homework, I say thank you. We book the time, we put it on our calendar. We know when we're meeting, online, face-to-face, coffee shop, wherever. And then I go and do my homework. But here's the thing. I do both of our homework. What I do is when I go and I present to them that list of 10 or 12, sometimes they say, hey, Chris, I really appreciate this, but I got really busy and I didn't have a chance to really sit down and come up with a list for you. I'll have to get it to you. So this is where when I've done my homework, I say to them, no problem. I thought you might be busy this week. So I hope you don't mind. I took the liberty of going through your LinkedIn page, and I've got my own list of 10 to 12 first-degree connections of yours, and I was hoping you would make an introduction for me or get me a chance to give them a phone call. Would you mind if you took a look at my list and tell me if these are people that you're comfortable introducing me to? In the vast majority of cases, the person that I'm working with is not embarrassed. I'm not trying to shame them. I'm not trying to show them up, but they're going to be impressed with my initiative and my thoughtfulness of actually still delivering my 12 people on their list. So when you're doing a one-on-one, always go through their LinkedIn ahead of time. Have a goal of who on their list, their first reconnection, they can introduce you to. And don't just look at names, titles, look at industries. You have your ideal client profile list. This is a chance for you to sit down, go through their LinkedIn and ask. Worst thing they can do is say no. We all have those people in our LinkedIn that somebody asks you about and you go, you know what, Eric? I have no idea who that guy is. I have no idea who that girl is. I have no idea when we connected or why we're connected. In that case, no is an acceptable answer. In some cases, no is an acceptable answer. You say, I just don't feel comfortable making that intro. But out of 12 people, you think you can get at least 3 warm introductions? If you are in networking, don't just go to your meetings. Don't just throw business cards around. Have a plan, have a goal, get to know your networking partners one-on-one, and in those one-on-ones, have a plan. Ideal client profile list, 12 people on your LinkedIn that they want to meet, 12 people on their LinkedIn that you want to meet. Once again, I'm Chris Drouin with EM Consulting Group and Sandler Training. If you have questions on networking, questions on prospecting, sales coaching, I'm here for you. Reach out to me. I'd love a chance to help you.